Hey everyone, it's time for me to thin the herd. I am selling this 2018 Les Paul Traditional, not because anything is wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it. I just got a 63 reissue 335, ES 335, that is a better choice for me in my playing style. This is a great example of a Les Paul. In stock form, they're pretty damn good. I've done some things to make it better, and I'll show you details as we go through. First of all, the 2018 Traditional has got a neck like the current 50s Les Pauls, where it's about 0.87 of an inch down around the first fret, gets up to about 9.95 or a little bit less at the 12th fret. So a good beefy neck, but it's not really crazy thick like some 58 reissues. It's a little bit less thin than some 59 historics, but it's certainly thicker than the 60s neck. It's very comfortable. It's not small. It's the full width of the nut. The nut is still factory, though I have gone in there and cleaned up the slots and lowered the heights so that all the strings in the first 5 frets play in tune. If the nut's too high, those first 4 or 5 frets really go sharp. It has the stock tuners. It has the stock burst bucker pros and the stock bridge and tailpiece. However, I took out the body insert for the original bridge studs, because it was the kind that screwed in like a mini Nashville and it had a lot of wiggle to it. So it has the Faber inserts which go directly into the body, and I'll put that in an insert, and then the ABR1 sits properly on that. The guitar, as it originally came, had a metal plate in here with all the pots mounted on that plate. I have removed that. I have shielded this cavity and this cavity with shielding paint, not tape, and I have replaced these pots with 500K Mojo Tone vintage taper CTS. I put in 22 nanofarad Vishay MKT 1813 tone caps, wired it all up. I do a very good job of wiring guitars because I do amps for a living, so this is much simpler, but I do the same level of care, so you'll see pictures of that. I did change the switch tip to the current, I think it's Switchcraft or Carling Switchcraft amber, which is more period correct, and I changed the plastics to the cream tone. So the pick guard, the pickup rings, the poker chip, and the output jack plate are the cream tone replacements, which are a closer match in terms of color and detail to the originals. It's a much thicker output jack plate than the stock, much more sturdy. Metal is sturdier still, but I wanted to have the look if possible. But, so the thicker plastic is nice. The poker chip and the pick guard and all this, pretty close to historic spec. It's not the historic height rings. They were out of stock everywhere. You can see here that they don't come up. Well, I guess you can see here better. They don't come up as high up on the pickup as a historic does. So I've done a lot of substantial upgrades as far as the pots. Also changed out the knobs. These are much nicer quality knobs. They look the part, and I've got the little pointers there, which I love, but I've have them so you can't cut your thumb on them. You can feel them if you're on a dark stage, you know where you're at, but you're not going to slice your thumb on these. The frets are all original. They have been cleaned and polished, but there was never anything wrong with them. The fretboard has been maintained with proper fretboard oil, about once every 4 string changes. It has Diodario nickel 10 through 46 on here. Let's see if there's anything I'm forgetting to do in this part of the video. The rosewood fingerboard, not the Power Ferro you get on others. The finish in most lights has this nice dark cherry with a fairly realistic burst. It's not an over-the-top burst. At some angles, it's a plain top. At some angles, the medullary lines really pop. For some reason, given the lighting I have in here right now, it's looking really flamey, which is pretty. But some of the insert footage I have to add to this, you can see more of the plain top view. Let's see if I can get it to... It doesn't want to plane up in this light. Sorry. The only thing that's wrong with it, which is just a finish flaw, it's the only finish flaw, is right here. There's a small circular ding, and there'll be an insert of this. I was working on two 1963 AC30s at the same time, and I was doing a comparison video to show the difference in the sound between the two restored 63 amps. Let me move this so that the glare is not hitting you. Sorry, the light. It's hard to light guitars like this. And as I was using this guitar to test the two amps, I had it on a stand, and as I was swapping chassis out, the power cable from one of them swung free. So this little chip here, right where the light is, well, you can see it in the insert, was put in the guitar by the hospital-grade power plug of a 1963 AC30. So that's not too bad. As far as the sound, right now you're hearing it through this Friedman Runt 20, and I've got the gain on the channel to about 10 o'clock, so just kind of in the plexi range. Quick note, about 20 years ago, I really damaged this finger in a wood planer, and the nerves in this finger and this finger, I don't have any vibrato on a bent note, which has been pissing me off for 20-something years. So sorry about that. This guitar really sings if you have that, but the response is there. Especially if you remember how the parts go. Anyway, there are a ton of videos out there where you can hear Burstbucker 1s and Burstbucker 2s. This guitar has been featured in a lot of my videos over the past year and a half. They're all out there. If you're interested in this guitar, I'm doing this video both so that if someone sees it on Reverb, they can click this for more information, or I'm going to put it on my channel before it goes to Reverb, so anyone who's interested gets a head start on it. It's a really good guitar, and these things are going for $2,100, $2,200 on Reverb. It has this one ding. I think that's offset by the upgraded electronics and the plastics, the cream tone stuff. Most of the original plastics will be included with the guitar. It has the original case, has the original case candy, has the original Gibson tool. I even have the original shipping box. So I think a fair price, given that it has one finish flaw, and these things go for $2,200 without that one ding, and this is kind of relicking. I'm thinking $2,000 plus $85 shipping. It's a particularly good example. It looks beautiful. It looks like a real one. Some are just way over the top, more like a PRS thing. And if you're looking for a really good sounding traditional Les Paul in the 50s style, this is a great example. I guess you want to hear both pots working and the tones. Let's see if I were to do this. There it is. It's a really nice guitar to play. It sounds great. I forgot to mention it does weigh about 10 pounds. It is not chambered. There are no extra weight relief holes inside. It's a solid mahogany body with a very nice flame maple cap. The trade-off is weight, so know that. About 10 pounds, relatively thick neck, not as thick as some. I think it's a real good example. Anyway, I'm a terrible salesman. I should be just telling you that this thing will make your car go faster, get better gas mileage, and your wife will like your breath better. But it's a very good guitar. I think it's a realistic price for 2022. Has no problems except that one little cosmetic ding, which I have more than disclosed. So if you are interested in this guitar, shoot me an email. My email address is on the screen below and in the description below. And put in the subject line, Les Paul, please, because I get a lot of emails. And so if you're interested in this guitar, make the subject Les Paul so I know that that's what it's about. Thanks so much.